Hi there. So in this session, what I will do is I will cover the policies which we can apply on the resource group. So now, what is the resource group? I've explained in my previous sessions. So I will just brief it. Like a resource group is nothing but in the real life scenario, we can say it's a kind of a folder. Uh, to understand, it's a kind of folder where you can put all the similar kind of files. For example, say in a Microsoft Word, you create a folder on your Windows desktop, and then you try to put all the similar files in that specific folder to make sure you understand, okay, this folder contains, or this folder is very specific to maybe to the financial part, or this folder is specific for my playlist, or for any kind of music folder. Or if you have one more folder where you say, okay, I have all the files which is similar to my like for example, say education files and all those things. So similarly in Azure, your resource group is nothing but a folder where you try to keep all the similar resources, or the resources which are linked to each other, or which is required for the specific application or database, or an entire application to work together in harmony. So this is what something resource group is. Now on this resource group, what we can do is we can add a policy. So when I say to add a policy, let's go back to the Microsoft official document. So you can add a different policies to your resource group. Now, for example, say again, going back to the example of a very simple folder what we create in Microsoft Windows environment. So there you go, and you have a different way to go and create a policies on those folders. So you can create a policy on the folder. For example, say you have created a folder in Windows, and there you say this folder is read only folder. For any of the person who goes in my laptop, he can just go and read only to my folder. This is what, for example, say one of the policy you created for the folder. Second can be, okay, one of the user who can go and maybe he can just go and write to my folder, but he cannot delete or he cannot execute anything in my folder. So similarly, you define the policies in a normal Windows folder. The same way we will apply the policies in the resource group also. Now there are different policies given here. If you see here, now add a tag to a resource. Now add a tag to a resource, it means what? For example, say take a VM or take a virtual machine. Now I am trying to put a virtual machine. I'm trying to put a virtual machine or assign a virtual machine to my resource group. Now I can say this resource or this VM which I'm trying to assign to my resource group should have a tag. And if I don't have a tag, then this policy can define it. For example, say add a tag to a resource. Now add the specific tag and the value when any resource missing this tag is created or updated. So when you create a virtual machine, and if that virtual machine which you're trying to create in that resource group, and if the resource group policy says if you don't have a tag, then go and create the tag for that specific resource. And if you have a tag, then you can go and also even update the tag for that resource. Now let's take an example of this one. Requires a tag on the resource. So what this means is, this is my policy which is assigned to my resource group, and I'm enforcing. So if I create a VM, a virtual machine, and I'm assigning to my resource group without the tag, what it will do? It will enforce the existing of a tag. So it will not allow me to create a virtual machine in the resource group without the tag. Now let's take an example. Let's do a hands-on on this. So let me go back to my Azure portal. Okay, now I will go to a resource group. So this resource group is nothing but like a folder in your Windows environment. So now I go to a resource group. So right now I have one resource group here. So let me delete this resource group and we can create a new one again. So I'm deleting my resource group here. Okay, it seems it is deleted. Okay, it's still going on. Okay, so while it is deleted, let me create a new resource group. So let's go back to my resource group. Okay, I'm creating a resource group here. So now this resource group is, for example, the test1 RG, which is my resource group. This is my region where I'm trying to create a resource group. So the whole idea of the session is we are trying to create a policy on this resource group. So for that, first I'm creating a resource group, and then I will attach a policy to the resource group. So let's say review and create. Okay, so this is my resource group test1 RG. Now what I'm saying is, Now this resource group is empty. It means like my folder where I was trying to create some file. So this is, I've created the folder. Now there is no file in the folder. So in the Azure environment, the folder is equivalent to a resource group, and your file, maybe you can say, for an example, your file is equivalent to your virtual machine. So right now my folder, my resource group test1 RG is empty. Okay, there is no resource in this resource group. Now let's first assign the policy to this resource group. Now the policy which I'm trying to assign here is, I will say you cannot create any file, or you cannot create in terms of Azure, you cannot create any resource. Take an example of virtual machine in my resource group if the virtual machine is not having a tag. Okay, this is the policy I'm going to select. So go to that policies tab, and then go to my assignment. Okay, now from here I can say assign the policy. Okay, so now I will go here and I will assign the policy as let me see if I have. Okay, let's search for tag. Okay, so requires a tag and its value on the resources. So this will enforce a required tag and its value, and it doesn't apply to the resource group. So what this means is, when I create any resource in this resource group, it should have a tag. If it doesn't have a tag, it will not allow me to create the resource in this resource group. So same way, if I have a folder and I cannot create any file in that folder until unless that file which I'm creating should have a tag. So now let me select this. Okay, you can keep this as is, review and create. Okay, let's go and create the policy. So let's see what it's saying here. Okay, so what is the tag name I need? I need, for example, say tag name is role and value should be for example, say dev environment. Okay, we say review and create. So requires a tag and its value on the resources. So now let's go here. Okay, so now this is my resource group and this is my policy. So let's see now if I can see any policy. Yes, so now there is a policy on this resource group, like I cannot create any resource if it is not having a tag here. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's go back and try to create a virtual machine. Now I will create a virtual machine and I will try to create a virtual machine in this resource group. So now this is my resource group. Okay, let's see, test VM. This is I'm creating in you can create in any region. This is just for testing purpose. Let's go for the Windows. Anything you can take it here. Then let's take okay, let's put everything here. This is my password. Okay, now I will say review plus create. Let's see what it says. Okay, now validation passed. Now let's see on creation, it should give me, it should fail, because if you see here on the tag value, on the tag tab, I have not given anything here. Okay, so it should definitely fail and it should give us an error on the screen. So let's see what it does. So this is saying still deployment, and if I go here and if I try to see on the notification, yep, definitely it failed. So now let's see what it says. So it says here there is a policy on this resource group which says requires a tag and its value on the resources. So what was my resource? My resource was my VM, and since I don't have a tag and a value on that VM, it's not allowing me to do it. So now what should I do it? I should go and assign a tag and the value on this. So now let's do one thing. Let's again go and try to create a VM, and this time we will try to give the tag value as well as the tag as well as the value for the tag. So let me create 2019. Let me give this name test VM. Okay, let me put the password. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I go to the tag. This is very important. Now I should have a tag, as I said my name should be role and my environment should be dev. Okay, this is what I needed. So if you remember, before this we have not added any tag here. So now let's see how exactly it behaves. So let me see if I can create a virtual machine with the tag and the value. So it's saying deployment in progress, and hopefully this time we should not get this error of deployment failed, because we have added the tag at the same time we have added the value. Okay, it seems like it's working. It's still in the deployment mode, so it takes some time, but it should be real quick because we are spinning up the entire VM. So yep, this is done now. So now go to the resource and my VM is ready. Okay, so now let me go to my resource group and see in my resource group. Okay, so in my resource group I can see this is my resource group. Yep, and I can see my machine test VM. This is my machine in the resource group. So now if you see, it has created, like with the test VM, it has created all the network as well as the IP. This is a public IP and everything. So hopefully this was useful for you guys. So let me brief what exactly we learned. So we learned here how to create a resource group, and at the same time, while creating a resource group in the real life scenario, there can be a scenario where I can say, okay, you know what, in my production environment, any VM which is going as a part of this resource group, it should have a tag and a value. So now this is how you can go and identify or differentiate between a dev environment or a production environment or a staging or a UAT, any of the environment where you're trying to create any of the resource. So in our case here, what we said, my role was my development environment. So now so I know, okay, any machine which is going in this resource group should have a tag of role equal to development environment. Now, what is the use of this? The use of this, it becomes very easy to track the machine. At the same time, it will enforce, or it will force the user to go and create a proper machine in a proper resource group. So in this way, you will have a bifurcation between the production, dev, and the test environment. So this is what the whole, this is what the what we studied about. So this is the use case about what is the use of different policies on the resource group, and how it can help us out to differentiate between the dev environment, production environment, or any of the environment where you want to go and create the resources, and accordingly you can have a look in that specific resource group, what all machines are getting created, and at the same time you can restrict the user doing something incorrect, or incorrectly going and creating the machine in some other environment where he is not supposed to. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and we learned about the resource group, the policies, and how exactly we can implement the policy. So there are many policies where you can go on the official Microsoft document, and you can see there are multiple policies you can go and add to your resource group, to your resources, and different way you can do it. So this was one of the example, and this will be handy for you. So I will add this in my description, this link, so you can go through multiple policies and see how exactly this will be helpful for you guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching.